JL, this
Yes.
question is about the free market. Do we really have a free market today? Is the market truly free, or is it controlled by a few large corporations who lobby and write burdensome legislation that protects their interests while stifling emerging competitive technology and creativity? What would you do to help bring back a truly free market?
That's a
JL?
good question, and firsthand experience, Mueller versus GM. We absolutely do not have a free market. We have capitalism, and there is a big difference between capitalism and a free enterprise system. Capitalism is making money off of money, and we relate back to the Federal Reserve because that's the way people are able to do it, or corporations are able to manipulate the money and basically outsource everything that we would normally build here in America. It's sent overseas at any savings that the corporation can make, and they will buy out. Bain Capital is a great example. They will buy out a bunch of small companies, consolidate them, send half the people down the block, and then ship everything overseas, bring back the made in China junk, and market it at their stores at huge discounts with this legislation passed, NAFTA, GATT, and various other new legislation that's being passed. And we can blame it on the unions, we could blame it on environmental standards, but that's really not the issue. It is the transnational conglomerates that control what we do, what we eat, what we read. And, unless you're living in a commune, you're pretty much stuck with what they have to give you. And to fix that, we change the money system. Bring it back from everything from platinum, silver. Once again, we'd have to declare the massive unemployment, the tax base loss, the national debt, everything as a national security matter, and put Congress under notice that they could technically just be charged with sedition and everything they own seized unless they're willing to work with the common sense plans.
Okay, JL.
Yeah.
Andre, do you want to respond to that?
I do. Joe, I agree with you on that. We do not have a free market. However, I don't believe that capitalism is at fault. It's the crony capitalism. Crony capitalism is the government actually allowing that legislation that only benefits certain businesses or sectors to thrive, and it gets through. Also, I think we've spoken before, when you're looking at something, some of the new innovative ideas that come out, sort of like companies that have provided perpetual energy or hydrogen technology, a lot of them cannot acquire the documentation to get that mass produced. When you're trying to go and get your product, and I apologize, I'm forgetting the word there, but you go get a patent, right, or a copyright. A lot of times the government will not allow that, and there's a reason for that, and that is the other large businesses or corporations that are hindering that. The red tape has to be removed.
Yes.
Government, again, has to be accountable to the people.
Okay. Harry, do you want to speak to that?
I'm sorry, Judy?
Can you speak to that? Do you want to rebut on what Andre said and what JL said about free markets?
Yeah, are you asking me?
Yes.
Oh, yes, I do. Because I do think the free market's working. It's working extremely well. That's why all the jobs are in China and they're not here. It's because they have slave labor. That's because they don't have environmental standards. Anything goes over there, so we cannot compete. They're cleaning our clock, and this game is already over. China is now the superpower. We are not. We are deep in debt. We are a declining empire, and to think that we're going to somehow compete with the Chinese in manufacturing is ludicrous. I saw them build an 18-story office building to very high standards in 4 days. 4 days. You couldn't even get a permit in this country in 4 days. Everything that you talk about in manufacturing, we had two choices. We could have brought the Chinese up to our standard of living with tariffs, with our high wages, And our environmental standards, which are pitiful, in my opinion, we don't really have any effective environmental standards. The Clean Air Act and the Clean Water Act are jokes. They're not enforced. The EPA has no clear authority to regulate any of the 85,000 toxic chemicals that are in the blood of you and me and every other person in this country and on the planet, because it's all off the books. The problem is a free market is like laws of the jungle. It's eat or be eat. Right now, the Chinese are eating our crops. And we cannot compete with them because they are still earning 1/10 the wages that we do in this country, and they work harder and they're better educated. How are we going to win that?